The Ghost in the Machine. Part 1. The Battle on the Gravel. The setting isn't some pristine, air-conditioned garage bay with shiny concrete floors and hydraulic lifts. This battleground is a rough, uneven gravel driveway under an unpredictable Missouri sky. For 3 solid days, the elements have thrown absolutely everything they've got at this spot. 1 hour, the humidity is so thick, you can practically chew the air, and the July sun is beating down, baking the gravel until it sears right through a work shirt. The next hour, the sky turns black and unleashes a torrential downpour, turning the dirt beneath the stones into a muddy, sliding soup. And sitting right in the middle of all of it, like a stubborn, silent mountain of black steel, is H2 Thunder. The hood of the massive 2009 Hummer H2 is propped open. Beneath it, a man is flat on his back. There are no fancy rolling creepers here. He's lying directly on the sharp, jagged gravel, his shoulder blades grinding into the stones every time he reaches up into the cramped engine bay. Water drips from the wet hood straight onto his face, mixing with the sweat and black engine grease. First, it was the air conditioning. Fighting with seized bolts and tight spaces in the sweltering heat, he finally got the AC blowing ice cold. Then the alternator gave out. Another round of wrestling with heavy metal in the dirt, and the new alternator was bolted into place. But H2 Thunder wasn't done testing him. When the key turned, the engine finally roared to life with its signature deep rumble. But the rest of the beast remained dead. The custom interior, the sweeping LED lights, the dual-screen karaoke, the entire custom electrical network, the very soul of the vehicle, refused to wake up. A silent, invisible electrical ghost had buried itself deep in the wiring harness, and it was daring him to find it. Part 2. Turning wrenches and swapping smack. Working in conditions like this is enough to make the most patient man pack up his socket set and throw it through a window. But the only thing louder than the thunder in the sky is the constant stream of friendly trash talk coming from the sidelines. With Kevin dealing with his health right now, he can't get down in the gravel and turn the wrenches himself, but he can sure stand nearby and keep the mood lively. Hey, you planning on actually fixing that today? Or are you just using my gravel as a mattress? Kevin yells down, a grin on his face. I've seen snails move faster than you. From underneath the bumper, a hand covered in black grime reaches up and tosses a wet shop rag in Kevin's general direction. If you'd stop talking, I could actually hear what this multimeter is trying to tell me, Shawn shouts back, his voice thick with grit, but carrying a smirk. That's how the hours roll by. Shawn is absolutely covered in grease, soaked to the bone from a sudden rain shower, his knuckles bruised from slipping off a wrench, and Kevin is right there, keeping the pressure on and giving him a hard time. It's a constant back and forth of mock complaints and sharp-witted jabs. But underneath all the teasing, Shawn just keeps plumbing away. Every time his phone rings with someone else calling him to handle a crisis, he answers it, deals with it, and then slides right back down into the wet gravel, squinting through the flashlight beam to trace another wire. Part 3. Waking the Beast. It's late, and the rain has finally slowed to a steady, quiet drizzle. The air is cool, but the humidity still hangs heavy over the driveway. Shawn is wedged under the dashboard, his back twisted at an impossible angle over the door sill, tracing a heavy ground wire that connects the main power distribution block to the cabin. All right, Shawn says, wiping a mix of rainwater and grease from his eyes with the back of his arm. Turn the key to accessory. See if this ground does the trick. Kevin reaches through the window and clicks the ignition. For a heartbeat, there is nothing but the sound of the rain dripping off the roof. Then a sudden sharp click echoes from the fuse panel. Instantly, the dark cabin of H2 Thunder explodes into a brilliant display of light. The sweeping custom LED strips flood the ceiling with deep blue and amber light. The dual karaoke screens glow to life, and from the vents, a powerful blast of pure Arctic cold air rushes out, cutting through the damp humidity of the night. Shawn slowly slides out from under the dash, sitting up on the wet stones. He looks at the glowing interior, then up at Kevin, a tired, triumphant grin cutting through the dirt on his face. "The ghost is officially evicted," Shawn laughs, wiping his hands on a grease-stained rag. Part 4. A Message for Shawnless. Shawn, if you're listening to this right now, we wanted to make sure you heard this loud and clear. First of all, Kevin wants you to know that your wrenching speed is still terrible, and he's probably going to keep giving you a hard time about it tomorrow. But in all seriousness, Shawn, look at that machine standing in the driveway. It is running, blowing cold air, and shining bright right now solely because of your stubborn, relentless hard work. Chasing the electrical problems is the most frustrating, miserable job a person can do on a vehicle. Doing it outside, flat on your back in the sharp gravel, through the scorching heat, the pouring rain, and the mud. That is a whole different level of brutal. Most people would have walked away after the first afternoon. They would have said it was too wet, too hot, or just too much of a headache. And we know you had every excuse to do exactly that. You have had an incredibly packed schedule these last 3 days. You've been pulled in a dozen different directions. Your phone has been ringing off the hook, and you have a massive amount of your own stuff riding on tomorrow and your own situation. It often feels like you're always doing time, Shawn, whether it's by the strict letters of the law or by the endless weight of expectations from everyone you know. Just suddenly, it seems like the clock is always running on you, demanding your hours, your sweat, and your peace of mind. But you didn't leave. With Kevin sick and unable to be out there in the dirt next to you, you knew how much pressure he was under to get this vehicle ready for the road. You knew how much was depending on it. So instead of going home to rest, you chose to stand by your friend. You chose to lay in the gravel, take the friendly smack talk, brave the weather, and pull a miracle out of a tangled mess of wires. That is the definition of a true brother, Shawn. To take on someone else's stress when they are down, and to keep pushing through the mud until the job is done right. We know you have a huge day tomorrow, and we know the pressure is on. The fact that you spent your time, your energy, and your sweat to make sure H2 Thunder was 100% ready to roll is something that will never be forgotten. Thank you, Shawn. Thank you for the grit, the busted knuckles, the patience, and the unmatched loyalty. You didn't just fix a Hummer. You carried your friend when he needed you most. Now go wash the grease off, get some rest, and know that your hard work is appreciated more than words can say. You've earned it, brother.